Hi Cancer, welcome to Intuition Tarot. My name is Kay, and today I'm going to be doing your weekly general reading. I do one of these for y'all per week and also one weekly love reading. My schedule is listed in the description box below, along with a list of the decks that I use, instructions for how to donate to my channel if you're so inclined, and a link to my website, which is where you can book a personal reading with me via Zoom meeting or pre-recorded reading, or order a personalized avatar birth chart. So today we're going to start out with the Black Tarot. Just two more shuffles to go here. And then I've already pre-shuffled my miniature Spellcaster's Tarot for clarification deck. So we'll be using that as needed. Last shuffle here and we'll get started. Alright. Spirit, please show me Cancer this week. What is the overall theme of the week for them? The Eight of Spheres flipped over in the deck. That's Virgo energy. It's about working hard toward a goal, toward mastering some aspect of yourself or your vocation. I'll get more into the interpretations as all the cards are laid out and I begin to clarify. Thank you, Spirit. Let's see Cancer. What are their challenges? What is the challenge this week? Okay, so then we have, these cards are sticking together a little bit. Sorry, guys. It's a new deck. We have the Tower here for your challenge. So we'll get into a little more depth on that, but that's about, you're going to be having a surprise, or you're dealing with one this week. Something shocking, unexpected. It can be as simple as a revelation, where you suddenly understand something that you didn't before, and it sort of shakes up the foundation of what you believed up until that point. It could be as major or significant as a natural disaster that, destroys someone's property. It's just things that happen that can tear down what you've built, whether that's morally, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, physically, whatever the case may be. Moving on, next we have the Hierophant here in the center. It's major for Taurus energy. That's talking about your blessings. The Hierophant can be about spiritual lessons that are learned. It can also be about contracts, marriages. It could be about a spiritual mentor. Again, we will clarify. Just saying what comes to mind as I lay out this main spread here. Just a few more to go. So, flipping over in the self-care position, we have the Four of Wands, Aries energy. This talks about reasons to celebrate. Can talk about twin flame unions, weddings, family get-togethers, baby showers, graduations, buying a new home, moving in together, commitments, stability. Thank you, Spirit. Please show me Cancer this week. What should they release? Bear with me as I wait for a card to flip over here, Cancer. I'm sorry if I'm talking quietly. It is early, not quite dawn yet here, and you could hear a pin drop, so I just don't want to disturb anyone. The Queen of Spheres flipped over, Capricorn energy, for what to release. Let me get one more card here. What should be Cancer's focus this week, Spirit? Please show me a card for Cancer. And we have Death. I'm sorry, I keep clearing my throat. That should help. So Death is the major card for Scorpio. It's about death and rebirth, transformation. at a very deep and significant level. So let's start to clarify and see how all these things apply for you, Cancer, in this week's energy. So starting out with what we had for the theme here, 8 of Spheres. Spirit, please clarify the 8 of Spheres for Cancer. 3 cards or less. Clarifying the 8 of Spheres, we have the Sun, Major for Leo, the King of Cups, which can be your energy, Cancer. I often see it though as Pisces or Scorpio. And we have the High Priestess, which is a major for you and for Pisces. You've got 2 major arcana there clarifying. So the theme of this week, you will be using your spirituality, so things like intuition and sort of insights into things that may come with the Sun. It's like things will be made completely clear. I'm hearing the phrase fantastically clear, whatever that means. I mean, I know what it means, but it's not something I would normally say. But with the High Priestess here, you are in your more spiritual mode, Cancer, in the sense that you may be receiving downloads from the universe. With the Sun, this might be clarifying a lot of things for you. You're working on mastering yourself with that 8 of Pentacles, and with the King of Cups, that reiterates that even more, because the King of Cups is capable of deep emotions. However, he has learned how to master them so that they don't control him. So what you're working on is basically yourself at a deep level. You're working on, there may be a focus on sort of mastering, like, I'm sorry, what's the best way to say this? Whatever your spiritual path may be, with the Sun there, it's when you're in tune with that High Priestess intuitive energy, it makes you feel happy with the Sun, clear, like things are new, the start of a new day. And you're doing this through mastering yourself with the 8 of Pentacles and the King of Cups. It's going to be different for everybody, so take that as it resonates. And of course, keep in mind that gender doesn't matter here. So male or female, committing to the spiritual path. That's sort of the theme overall this week. Now to clarify the Tower for your challenge, we have the 2 of Pentacles, which is Capricorn energy, and also the Fool, major for Aries or Aquarius. I'm hearing someone drop the ball. So somebody just decided to bounce from a situation where they may have been trying to juggle things in order to determine their priorities. Now, whether this is you, Cancer, or an important person in your life, the challenge is that this has come to a great shock to you. Something had to be let go. You had to take a leap of faith, or this other person did, toward a new beginning. And this may have involved, like you might have thought that, you had all your balls in the air, like sort of balancing things the best that you could. But things started to pick up momentum. I'm hearing weeble wobble with the 2 of Pentacles. And it's like, okay, so I know that I can no longer juggle both of these things or several of these things that I've been focusing on. So fuck it, I'll just drop them all. With the Tower there, it's like, I'm just going to start fresh. I'm not going to worry about any of this. Your challenge this week is to let things go, which seems like a simple way of summarizing these 3 cards, but that's really the gist of it. So yeah, there's some kind of shocking information that you've received, or a shock that really these things that you thought were important and you were trying to juggle really don't matter, and they're not conducive to you moving forward on this path that may have been illuminated to you in this week's energy, with the focus of, the theme being the Sun, the High Priestess, the King of Cups, 8 of Pentacles. So you're doing all this work, and it's becoming very clear to you that you can just drop, these 2 insignificant pentacles, whatever else you're juggling, and just break free. That's the challenge. With the Hierophant as the blessing, okay, double flipper. We have the Three of Swords, the Eight of Wands, your blessing, communication with the divine. Excuse me. With this Hierophant card clarified by the Three of Swords and the Eight of Wands, it's like you've had this heartbreak sort of within, maybe for quite a while. This may have been what led you to feeling like you needed to step into this more spiritual mode this week, not focusing on what's right in front of you in the material realm, but in receiving messages from your higher self and from whatever divine source that you can connect with in order to heal this Three of Swords, painful sorrow, this energy. You're reaching out perhaps to methods that, like this could be even non-direct communication, like reading self-help books by your favorite spiritual guru authors, or could be communicating with like a counselor or someone about this heartache in order to learn the spiritual lesson from it. So Spirit saying, as a blessing, you have the opportunity to understand what happened, look at it from a more spiritual perspective. So this is kind of a deep reading for you this week, Cancer. I don't know what the physical circumstances are exactly with this tower that's occurred, that's in your energy this week, but it looks like you're handling it in a very wise way. It may be that, if you're unable to do something physically about the situation, you have to turn within so that you can at least, with that King of Cups too, as a theme, at least be able to control your reactions to it so that you are able to maintain your inner peace and learn the lesson that you need to learn. So that's wise. With the Four of Wands being about self-care, Spirit, please clarify the Four of Wands here for Cancers this week. Four of Wands, three cards or less, or I'll take the top card. What is this Four of Wands for Cancer? Okay, so let me grab these off the floor that fell. I'm not going to include them in the reading, but I'll put them back on the deck before I forget. What I did have flip over in my hand, we have the Death card, which is Major Arcana for Scorpio energy. For self-care, focus on transforming, your idea of what home and happiness is for you. And I think you are doing that with this spiritual focus. So you may have looked at things before, like, in a more material sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like in a very fleshly way, like what happiness might be for you. Maybe it's marriage with someone, or it's attaining a certain position at work, mastering your craft in the physical realm. However, Spirit is saying all the spirituality that, it's a form of self-care because it's transforming your ideas. And with this Four of Wands, what does home and security, stability really mean for you? I mean, this isn't the Ten of Pentacles, it's the Four of Wands, but there's also that element there of, it's a four, it's about foundations. So this is about home and family as well, that kind of thing. So through this experience, you have learned to redefine what those things mean for you, and Spirit saying that's a good way of self-care as you're getting these realizations and these downloads through your intuition, Cancer. You're learning what your blessings really are. That's a form of self-care because you can begin to appreciate things from a new perspective and let go of the old. Speaking of letting go of the old, with this Queen of Pentacles, or Spheres in this deck, being here for what to release. So this could be, once again, sort of highlighting the difference between the material and the spiritual. It's dropping that the Queen of Pentacles, she can be a healer. She's in a very comfortable position as far as earthly matters go. She's stable, secure. She's got all of her material needs met and a lot of her luxuries as well. So it's not saying that the Queen of Spheres can't be spiritual. It's just that I believe that this is again pointing to letting go of, that doesn't mean don't take care of yourself, don't pay your bills, whatever, but you can release if you had any former, if that was your main goal at one point, or you were really striving, it's like asking you to release the need to control that need for earthly security by relying on the divine. This is clarified by the Nine of Swords. Sleepless nights, nightmares when you do get to sleep, fears, anxieties. Also the King of Wands is here. I see that as Sagittarius, Leo, and sometimes Aries energy. So if you may, you might have been having fear about how you appear to the world, wanting to come across with King of Wands energy, which of course is very different from Cancerian energy, whose court card is normally the Queen of Cups. Again, gender doesn't matter. But so if you have felt the need to use your ambition, and you've been up at night kind of worrying about where you're going with your career, or how you're going to take leadership in a certain aspect with perhaps an outgoing enthusiasm or a charisma that you may or may not possess, it's sort of like forcing yourself to appear in the world as somebody that you're not. Of course, this would give someone anxiety because you're wearing a mask if that's the case. So Spirit's saying to let go of that. The Queen of Pentacles, King of Wands, if these are not natural parts of your personality and you have felt the need to emphasize them, that can come across as fake to others, even if your intentions are pure. And while it doesn't matter what others think, it's very difficult to achieve anything when you're not operating from your true self and from where the divine is leading you. So I just remembered we had pulled Death for a clarifier on the Four of Wands, and of course it was already here in the main spread, and it's for what your focus is on. It's not supposed to be, but just a gentle recommendation from Spirit on what to focus on this week. With the Death card, it's definitely about digging deeper into the spiritual transformation you're going through, Cancer. I see that this week very clearly, but I want to see what Spirit has to say before we tie up your reading. Spirit, please clarify the Death card for Cancer this week, for what to focus on. We have the Devil, major for Capricorn energy. Transforming, the Devil can mean many things. What's coming to me most strongly here is that it's about materialism. Once again, I feel like you may have been on a path, Cancer, that you thought was correct, according to societal structures and all that. But that's not going to get you out of whatever this challenge was with this tower. What's going to get you through that is by transforming any outdated materialistic sort of motivations that you've been operating from. Spirit's saying to focus on your transformation from the flesh to the spirit. Of course, we all have both aspects operating at all time. The trick is to keep them in balance. And so focus on transforming this Devil energy by considering to seek divine guidance and by connecting with your higher self. Okay, let me see if I can get one more card. That's awesome. Six of Pentacles, Taurus energy. I don't know if I said the word balance, but I was talking about bringing together sort of the spiritual and the flesh. Right now the focus is more on the spiritual, but obviously we can't totally let go of the material. And here it's just saying, there's a time you'll be work on balancing these energies by transforming the Devil. This can show up as being generous to others in need without expectation of return, but also even though you're not expecting reciprocity, especially if you're like on a spiritual trip, it's saying that your focus here is in balancing out yourself through this transformation, through letting go of some of the more material concerns you've had and focusing on the spiritual. I apologize if it sounds like I'm beating a dead horse at this point. The cards are kind of backing each other up anyway, so The message has become repetitive at this point. So I'm going to leave the message there. If you made it through, Cancer, I appreciate your time and attention. Please like, share, subscribe, tap the notification bell. And I'll see you guys again soon. Thanks, Cancer.